Welcome everyone to today's webinar. Today we're really excited to announce the launch of a new ProFlex LP Align, which is going to be available in Australia from the beginning of September. The ProFlex LP Align gives the user the freedom to wear the appropriate footwear for any occasion without them compromising the alignment of their prosthesis. The user is going to be able to adjust the alignment of the foot to match the different heel heights whilst maintaining optimal prosthetic alignment set by the prosthetist. And the foot has a fantastic 7 centimetres of adjustment, meaning that the user will be able to go easily from barefoot to high heels without compromising the alignment of the prosthesis. The concept of the ProFlex LP Align is based on the ProFlex LP design. The top and the middle blades are exactly the same as the ProFlex LP, but the bottom blade, although it's based on the ProFlex LP, it has a slight curvature at the toes, just to allow for a good fit at different heel height settings. And like the ProFlex LP, the middle blade is reverse tapered, which allows for more flex anteriorly, and the posterior part of the blade is thinner and gradually gets thicker, which allows for compliance within the mid-stance, and there is a top rocker blade that allows for increased stiffness towards late stance and toe-off, building up stiffness effectively for a powerful push-off. The functional ankle joint center of the ProFlex LP and ProFlex LP Align is a lot closer to anatomical than the LP Veriflex. The smaller sizes for the new ProFlex LP Align actually come with a new narrow foot gel, and this is available for sizes 22 to 26, categories 1 to 5 only. There is also a calf cosmesis available for these sizes and categories too. The curved flexible toe and the narrower foot cover for the smaller sizes allows for better fitting in the shoes. And as I mentioned, the heel height can be adjusted to an impressive 7 centimetres. The curved toe piece on the bottom blade ensures that there's full compatibility with the foot cover for all angles of the ankle. And the foot is weatherproof, meaning that it's resistant to fresh water, splashing, not submergible. There are 2 versions of the hydraulic housing. The small housing is available for sizes 22 to 26, categories 1 to 5, and allows for ease of cosmetic finishing. The standard housing is available for sizes 25 to 26, category 6, and size 27 to 28, categories 1 to 6. And the housings come in left and right. The hydraulic housing design allows for total freedom of movement, which allows the heel height to be adjusted from 0 to 7 centimetres. The heel height is adjusted for a simple push of a button, which is designed to be in an open or closed position. It's worth noting here that the foot should never be unlocked for weight bearing, as this will damage the hydraulic housing. To unlock the foot, press the inner or the medial side, and to lock, push the button back on the lateral side. And there's really good usability of this button through the calf cosmesis or through a SpectraSock, giving the user clear open and closed feedback in terms of feel and sound. It's also worth mentioning that if the ankle isn't adjusted for some time, the button can become stiff. However, it will loosen up after the first movement. And the same is true with the hydraulic housing. It may feel stiff if it hasn't been adjusted for a while. However, it is easy to loosen it by moving the ankle up and down a couple of times. The user can adjust the ankle to the appropriate heel height and fitting by pressing on the toe or heel. Alternatively, they can adjust it on a flat surface such as a tabletop. The pylon or shin section should be perpendicular to the floor or flat surface. The bottom blade is based on the ProFlex family, but with a slight curvature at the toes, and this allows for a good fit at different heel height settings. There's a hybrid layup in the bottom blade, a mixture of glass fibre and carbon fibre, and that just allows for a more flexible toe to adjust to those higher heel shoes. And the toe piece ensures that there's full compatibility with the foot cover for all angles of the foot. So now there's 2 types of foot covers for the ProFlex LP Align. They're both available in beige and brown. The FST cover is a standard ProFlex family cover, and that comes with the sizes 27 and 28, and also sizes 25 and 26, category 6. And there's no calf cover available for these larger categories and sizes. The FSS cover is a narrower foot cover than the standard FST cover. It features a lower opening for ease of cosmetic finishing, and also for the attachment of the calf cosmesis, which is available for the sizes 22 to 26, categories 1 to 5, And as mentioned, the foot covers come in the two colours of beige and brown. The ProFlex LP Align features spacers which sits in the anterior and posterior of the hydraulic housing. The spacers are stiff, allowing for the dynamic movement of the foot to come from the three carbon fibre blades. The spacers compensate for any play in the unit, which can be caused by external temperature changes. For example, oil shrinks in cold temperatures. The spacers will press against the pistons if this occurs, removing any play. Play could potentially develop after a long period of time. If you are experiencing play, just remove the foot cover and inspect the anterior and posterior wedges for any signs of wear and tear. And you can replace these spacers if necessary. And so there's a spacer kit available to order, which contains replacement spacers and a wedge tool kit used to remove and replace them, which makes the foot feel serviceable. As mentioned, the foot can be adjusted from 0 to 7 centimetres. And you can see here in these pictures, maybe not the most attractive shoe they could have picked for this photo shoot, but you can see the idea. It can accommodate very well for a very high heel. And then likewise, the user can comfortably walk around barefoot or in low-heeled shoes. And you can see from this video here that in barefoot walking, the user is achieving a smooth rollover with mid-range compliance from the dynamic design of the ProFlex LP Align. And in this video, you can see that despite being very high heels, the user still benefits from the mid-range compliance of the foot, with the heel and toe staying on the ground for longer and keeping the user balanced in stance phase, despite wearing high heels. And this video shows the new Cosmesis in combination with the ProFlex LP Align. As I mentioned, it comes in the two colours, and it's only available for the smaller sizes, of sizes 22 to 26, in categories 1 to 5. The ProFlex LP Align is suitable for your transtibial, leadless articulation, transfemoral, and hip articulation patients. You're looking at users of a low to moderate impact level, K levels 2 to 3, and suitable for male and female users and do value the ability to change their shoes without compromising their alignment or dynamic species. You might have users that participate in different activities throughout the day that want to change between business and casual or recreational activities, or just have a wide variety of shoes that they'd like to wear. The weight limit for the foot is 100 kilograms for your moderate activity user, and it goes up to 116 kilograms for your lower impact user. The ProFlex LP Align was compared to the ProFlex LP and the Elation foot, which is Össur's current adjustable ankle foot in the range. And they compared the three in an in-house comparison and completed the PEQ Mobility Subscale questionnaire. And the Mobility Subscale focuses questions on users' ability to walk in various scenarios, such as up and down stairs, on sidewalks and streets, and up and down steep hills. The ProFlex LP Align scored higher in all questions relating to mobility than the Elation foot. The Elation foot here is shown in yellow in the results, whereas the ProFlex LP Align is in blue. The LP Align scored slightly higher than the ProFlex LP, however this is not statistically significant, and the users in the study were tested in sport shoes with a heel height of 1 centimetre. With a hybrid layout of the sole blade and the curved toe shape in the ProFlex LP Align, the lever is shorter than the ProFlex LP, therefore there is a slightly less peak ankle power created at the toe-off in comparison to the ProFlex LP. The peak ankle power of the ProFlex LP Align is still significantly higher than the Elation, however, as the Elation has a shorter toe lever due to a short carbon fibre blade in the unit, which creates a lower peak ankle power. The ProFlex LP Align was compared to the runway and the accent foot, and it was found to show a lower stiffness during this first part of the loading curve in both the keel and heel compared to the competitive feet. Clinically, this indicates a low resistance to initial dorsiflexion for the ProFlex LP Align and less moment needed to load the foot. High displacement for the ProFlex LP Align indicates there's more ankle range of motion in comparison to the competitive feet. The table shows a comparison of the Proflex LP Align versus the Proflex LP in Elation in terms of weight and build height. And you can see here that there's an improvement in rollover between the LP Align and the Elation, as well as a higher user satisfaction of the LP Align versus the LP and the Elation foot. Ankle power is improved in the Proflex LP Align versus the Elation foot, and also the peak dorsiflexion angle, as we discussed, is also an improvement over the Elation foot as well. Bench alignment for the Proflex LP Align falls under the same recommendations as the Proflex family. This is a good starting point to drop the weight line through the posterior third of the foot, accommodating for appropriate flexion and extension, abduction and adduction angles. The use of the heel wedges is actually not recommended for any of the Proflex family range. It's found to affect the range of motion and historic characteristics of the foot. For this reason, there's no wedges that are included in the foot kit. Here you can see the FSS cover more closely with the lower opening for the attachment plate for the car cosmesis. It does feature the same benefits as the standard Proflex foot gel with a split toe and black spectre sock, except it is a narrower design, allowing it to fit into slimmer shoes. And again, it's only available for your sizes 22 to 26, categories 1 to 5. As mentioned, the car cosmesis is only available for these small sizes as well, and there's a table there to be able to work out whether your foot will be able to include a car cosmesis. They do come in left and right. The calf cosmesis comes with manufacturing instructions. Just make sure that you achieve your optimal alignment before bonding the calf cosmesis to the foot shell. The category selection chart is stated on here. The highest category for the Proflex LP Align goes up to category 6. And I've just put up the item codes for your reference. You can order the calf cosmesis separately, as well as replacement foot shells. The foot will come with the appropriate foot cover, depending on the size and category. I just want to give you an update on some of the new additions to the Proflex family. And we have the Proflex, which many of you are now familiar with. It is suitable for K2 to K3 users and features unique pivot technology. It's got the benefit of 27 degrees range of motion with a powerful push-off that's almost twice that as a Veriflex, and improved physiological rollover as well. It's been shown to reduce impact on the sound side by 11% and the varus moment on the knee by 15%, helping to protect the sound side knee from osteoarthritis. The Proflex XC is an excellent foot for your K3, K4 user for everyday walking to jogging and higher impact activities. And we now have the Proflex XC Torsion for users who would benefit from additional shock and rotation. The Proflex LP is a very compliant, low-profile foot and now has a torsion version, the Proflex LP Torsion, for users with compromised space. I'm just going to focus on Proflex XC Torsion and Proflex LP Torsion a little bit and go over some of the benefits of having a torsion shock unit. Both of these do feature a torsion shock unit that compensates physiological rotation and vertical shock absorption of the lost limb, delivering more comfort for the end user and less stress on the residual limb. The Proflex XC Torsion is based on the C-shaped design of the Proflex XC and is suitable for active users looking to use a single, lightweight foot for their normal daily life, as well as for a range of higher impact activities. The Proflex LP Torsion is based on the three-blade design of the Proflex LP and is suitable for users with compromised space who will benefit from shock absorption and rotation as well. So as mentioned, the Proflex XC Torsion is based on the C-shaped design of the Proflex XC, and this actually gives the user 10 mil of vertical compression, as well as an extra 6 mil of axial compression from the torsion unit. The torsion unit compensates for physiological rotation and vertical shock absorption that's lost, helping to increase comfort and reduce stress. And the XC Torsion is also Unity compatible if you want to fit elevated vacuum at a later date. Shock absorption and energy conservation are important aspects of efficient gait. Altered joint motion or absent muscle forces may increase forces on the joints and lead subsequently to additional pathology. In early stance, nearly 60% of one's body weight is loaded abruptly in less than 20 milliseconds onto its lateral limb, And this abrupt impact is attenuated at each of the lower extremity joints by controlled plantar flexion and controlled knee flexion. Load and response plantar flexion is passive and substantially restrained by the eccentric work of the pretibial muscles. The absorptive work done by the pretibial muscles actually delays forefoot contact until late into the initial double support period. So for lower limb amputees, the shock absorption that's provided by these joints is lost, and this needs to be considered when prescribing prosthetic feet. I'm just going to run through some of the literature on rotation and shock movement in prosthetics. A literature review from TWIST concluded if circumferential and longitudinal directed motion of the socket were permitted by introducing transverse rotation and longitudinal translation, the resulting stresses may be reduced. From this, we can deduct that permitted rotation and shock movements can reduce shear stresses on the residual limb. A study by Siegel et al. Focused on 10 transtibial amputees, comparing a rigid adapter versus a torsion adapter, and he concluded that the torsion adapters will likely reduce discomfort and incidence of injury experienced by lower limb amputees. A further study from Siegel using the same test as his previous paper showed that the addition of a torsion adapter resulted in small improvements in functional mobility and self-perceived pain interference with activities. Heitzman et al. Found that shear stresses of the residual limb in transtibial amputees induced by turning moments may be reduced with the use of a torsion adapter in the prosthesis. Shear stresses on the residual limb may be the reason for residual limb problems, and torsion adapters may therefore be beneficial for comfort and stump condition for individual cases. In this video, you can see the ProFlex XC Torsion in action, with a close-up of the torsion unit as well. The compliance of the torsion unit is dictated by size and category of the user, providing appropriate progressive rotation and shock for the user depending on their weight and their activity level. In terms of who the ProFlex XC Torsion is suitable for, from your K2, K3 and K4 users, low to high impact. Ideal for users that want an everyday leg that they can use for higher impact activities later on in the day, such as working in the office and then going to play basketball or jogging in the evening. The user weight limit depends on their impact level. For a high impact user, the weight limit is 116 kilograms, as opposed to your low impact at 147 and your medium at 130. Some of you may be aware that we had some issues with the durability of the VariFlex XC Rotate. We're pleased to say that the ProFlex XC Torsion features improved durability. They've redesigned the torsion shock unit. They've ensured that all the materials are compatible with each other. They've increased the surface area of the rod. The self-lubricating rod has now a thicker grease, and the knurled surface pattern, which holds the torsion cell in place, is more rough to prevent slip. And you can see here from this graph that in the testing, the blue line is the ProFlex XC Torsion, a really, really minimal amount of play, building up at 1 million cycles, and just plateauing and maintaining that amount up to 2 million cycles, whereas you can see that the VariFlex XC Rotate on the black line would develop play relatively quickly and just keep going with it as well. So it's certainly a big improvement in the durability of this torsion unit. The alignment recommendation for the ProFlex XC is the same as the ProFlex LP Align and the rest of the ProFlex family range. The foot shell actually contains a small mark to highlight where the posterior third is of the foot, so you can simply just bisect your socket and then drop the weight line through that mark in the foot shell, and just to give you a good starting point. And as I mentioned with the ProFlex LP Align, the use of heel wedges is not recommended for any of the ProFlex feet, so no wedges will be included in the foot kit. Unity is available for the ProFlex XC Torsion. The benefits of Unity are that it's sleeveless, it's lightweight, there's no extra build height required, and you can retrofit the pump at a later date if you feel like you want to go down the route of elevated vacuum. Users can benefit from reduced volume fluctuations throughout the day, as well as reduced stiffening. Some of the studies have found that there's improved balance and stability and improved gait for users using elevated vacuum. If you want to order the Unity version, then the code is PXTU. Otherwise, it's actually PXTO just for the standard spot. And you can see here that you need to order the applicable Unity fob, which is dependent on category and size of the foot selected. You also have the choice of the Unity valve kit or the I544 kit, which is actually a very reliable valve kit that sits sistally to the socket, includes a socket adapter, and requires no silicon to fabricate, making it very quick and easy to use. Moving on to the ProFlex LP Torsion. The LP Torsion is a dynamic foot with a torsion unit in order to provide that shock, absorption, and rotation to help improve comfort for the user. Ideally, it's for users with compromised build height that still want to achieve their activities of daily living with the improved comfort from having the rotation and shock absorption. The ProFlex LP Torsion features more dynamics than the LP Rotate due to the reverse tapered middle blade that's based on the ProFlex LP. And there is a difference in the approximate location of the functional joint center between the ProFlex LP Torsion and the LP Rotate. Ideally, the user's activity levels K2, K3, and K4 are suitable for this foot, including transtibial, knee disarticulation, transfemoral, and hip disarticulation patients. And again, the user weight limit depends on their impact level, can go from 116 kilograms to 147. And ideally, for active users that have compromised build height, that are looking for the addition of the shock and rotation as well as a dynamic foot for their activities of daily living. And the alignment recommendations are the same as what I've just gone over with the ProFlex XC Torsion. And again, heel wedges are not recommended because it can affect the range of motion and energy storage characteristics of the foot. And for this reason, no wedges will be included. Here's your category selection chart, just for your reference, as well as the ordering code. The ProFlex LP Torsion is available with Unity as well. Again, the Unity prompt will depend on the foot size and category, and then you have your valve options of a tube kit or the I544 kit.